The stage is set here at the Centennial Concert Hall for the first show of Manitoba Opera's 2025-2026 season. They'll be presenting Giacomo Puccini's political thriller Tosca, starring a cast of returning voices and new faces for audiences to enjoy. One of those faces is the star herself, Floria Tosca, performed by Marina Costa-Jackson. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Of course, I'm so happy to be here.
So, when it comes to stepping into a character that is so beloved by opera fans, someone that audiences feel like they know so well, what are some of the thoughts that go through your mind as you try to, as you portray Floria Tosca?
Well, I think first and foremost, because she's an icon.
Yes, she is.
Honestly, it's gratitude. I have to say there's not 1 minute of this opera that isn't thrilling, that isn't just a blessing to perform. And she is an opera singer, and she is a real lady. And Puccini wrote her, I keep saying it, but it's the truth. She is so non-Instagram ready. He shows her insecurities. He shows that she is a real woman, grappling with real things that we all do as human beings. And then very much still highlights who she is in her strength as well. So you get to see the whole range of an individual within Tosca, and it's awesome.
Absolutely it is. Now, within that, of course, comes the challenge to try to put, I'm sure, your own imprimatur, your own ideas on who Floria Tosca is compared with some of the most thrilling performances that come in opera history. What do you look to when it comes to adding your own Tosca to the performance canon of this role?
You know, I can't say that I'm necessarily thinking of how I can do things differently. The reality is Puccini wrote it in the score, everything that you really need to know. There really is no need, in my opinion, for surtitles, because it's all like, you know, when Scotti was being evil, you can hear it in the score. When there's dramatic heartbreak, you can hear it in the score. And so for me, I think the way that I approach this is more about how can I most honestly and truly portray this emotion and connect with it. And because every person is different and every instrument is different, and my body is my instrument. My instrument is housed within my body. So it's really about how can I most organically show what Puccini has already written so incredibly and do it justice in that way versus how can I make things different.
For those who have never experienced the music of Puccini before, we're talking about a composer who very much puts real life into the score, as you were saying. What are some of the things that audience members who maybe have not encountered this kind of music before can listen to find the drama within Tosca that then you portray in the title role?
Right. And I think it's just about listening. And it's also, this is an era that Puccini wrote verismo style, which means realism. So when I go up to a dramatic high note, it is because it's coming and it's stemming from a dramatic emotion of desperation, of anger, of jealousy. And then the way that he wrote Tosca specifically is you get these top notes, but then you get a dramatic drop into your chest voice. So you'll hear the difference in quality of voice that Puccini is highlighting the drama by writing in these extremities. So it's very thrilling to listen to.
Absolutely. I mean, the added layer to the realism of your character is that she herself is an artist, is that she herself is living the highs and lows that come with the creative life, just as opera singers also do. What does that experience mean for you compared to other roles that you sing, that extra layer of relatability, perhaps, to this character?
Well, it really gives me the opportunity to never really have to step out. Sometimes you'll have, like in Verdi operas or bel canto operas, where you have a lot of fioraturas that go on top of the emotion, and your character will kind of wax on about it for a while. Whereas Puccini is very economical in what he's written, in that, no, he's portraying that emotion, and you're not spending minutes, tens of minutes on one theme. It's almost like, no, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm expressing myself, and that is what Puccini has done really well. And I think that's essentially why people are constantly captivated by Tosca, and honestly anything written by Puccini. There's a reason why he's always in the top 5 favorites, and it's because he is real, and we connect with it in a very instantaneous way because it's not waxing on forever, and in a very core human way. So
that realism of Tosca, the artist, comes through the strongest in her second act aria, Visidarte, I lived for art. What is it like to try to share that emotion through an aria that, again, lays that experience so bare for everybody to experience at a very pivotal moment in the drama of Tosca, the opera, without giving too much away, of course, because people obviously want to come and check this out. But this is a real iconic moment in opera at large.
It is, and I love the fact that it comes after quite a bit of the act of, this screaming and begging and pleading, and this whole torture scene where he's just trying to strip her down. And what Puccini has done is he has stripped her down to the point where you hear in the orchestra, it is soft, it is quiet. It's the quietest moment in Act 2. And yes, you need to be vocally on point, but I also think there's something to be said about just being sincere in the fact that it's a prayer and it's a, why is this happening to me? And it's coming down into the reality of what's happening to her. So as you said, it's iconic, it's amazing. And, but I think it is that quiet moment where there's really only one high note at the end or a couple high notes at the end, but it's really just a conversation about how could this ever happen? And I think it's very effective.
You've been here in this community in Winnipeg for a few weeks now preparing this production, which will go to the stage officially in just a few days. Yeah, having gotten maybe a sense of what this community's musical making is like and getting to work with a lot of familiar faces that Manitoba Opera regulars will have enjoyed, what do you maybe surmise that this audience, Winnipeg's audience, will take away from Tosca in 2025?
I have found that Canadians, this is my first time in Canada, so
even better.
I found that at the end of the day, very sincere people and passionate about doing things correctly. And so I think that they'll come into this production taking what we really are trying to give is just to honor this music to our fullest capabilities. And I believe that the audience, being the sincere and passionate people that they are, will be able to receive that the way that we intend to give it.
So now that this is your first performance in Canada and you'll be sharing this with Winnipeg audiences over the next, I'll call it week and change, what do you think you'll take away from this production, this experience of Tosca, into your next engagements?
I love the fact that they kept this a classic production. There's not really much you can do to change Tosca because of the era that it comes from. And really Puccini has written it all in the score. So I think what I'll take away from it is just more deeply ingraining this character into my being, into who I am. Any chance that I get to perform this music, as I told you, I will. I started it with gratitude, I'll end it with that way too. It's just the ability to be able to add another layer to the many layers that it is to be Tosca and to be part of a Puccini opera, and to also come together as people from different parts of the world, and to be able to create beautiful art and honor it well. And I think that's what I'll take away most from it, is just gratitude for the experience and adding another little layer to my Tosca.
We have no doubt that that gratitude will be reciprocated by the audiences who come to see you perform in Tosca. We'll have more information about this production at our website, classic107.com, and on the Classic 107 app. Marina Costa-Jackson, this has been an absolute delight to get to know Tosca through you. All the best for the run, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.